Eminency, distinguished panelists, distinguished guests, I will use it in English then, because it will be probably easier for me to express my thoughts in English than in Ukrainian, which is also not my mother tongue. First, in this introductory keynote speeches, the European Union project has been presented as a reconciliation-based project. And it is very true, sir, that it is also a project that is very much future-oriented. So we have in this discussion about reconciliation not only focus on the past, but also on the purpose of the reconciliation. So one of the purposes of this reconciliation that we are talking about, be it between Ukraine and Russia, within Ukraine, between what has been said by Professor Germany and France, Germany and Poland, Poland and Ukraine. The purpose is to prepare and to lay fundamentals for the future, that we will not be taken once again by the same dramas that our previous generations went through. So we have to look at this reconciliation, that it is about preparing for the future. Preparing for the future is also very much about educating people to live together. This is about investing in the future generations. But in order to get through this reconciliation, and you will learn it if you study different projects of reconciliation, you need some specific conditions to be met. First, to decide who are the parts to this reconciliation. To talk generally about the reconciliation is too late as a project. We have to address specific partners to this process of reconciliation. Then, the purpose is about what should we talk. In the case of Polish-German reconciliation, it was very much about overcoming the Second World War, but it also engaged very much the previous layers of history in order to get to this point and to find ways how to talk about it. The same for Ukraine. You have to create language of reconciliation, and language very much matters. If we don't have a common language, it's very difficult to reconciliate. If we don't know what are the definitions we are using for this reconciliation. And in this language, we should also bear in mind that engaging the process of reconciliation, partners to this process should avoid a language that goes contrary to the reconciliation. That is a good Latin saying, corrumpunt mores bonus colloquia mala, that the bad language spoils very much morals. So this is a question to refrain from a language that is not a language of understanding, reaching out to others, but a language that is so often known and seen in public debates, to label people, to stereotype people, in order to avoid an in-depth discussion. So the language is something that is also very much inscribed in everything what has been said in these introductory talks, So this reconciliation project is very much based on the Christian sense of who we are. So the language is the language that is also the language of our Christian faith, because the word was at the beginning, and the faith has been also learned through the language. And when the language is free, there's also a broader space of liberty. Because if we are sure that our partner is using a language that he might be committed to follow, that there is an integrity behind the language, then we feel free. We are not afraid of engaging with something if we trust the language that the person is using. So the language is something that is one of the prerequisites for this, what we have in mind, the reconciliation. And then, what is also so much important for the reconciliation is to recognize that we all are different, that we may have different visions on the world, but what is the driving engine of our engagement in the reconciliation is to get to a peaceful solution, to something that may unite us into the future. So this difference is the point of departure, but where we are heading at is a common future. In order to engage a successful reconciliation, you should give time to time, as the French saying goes, because very much must be discussed, repeated, and settled to go beyond lines, to transpass this line of difference with another person. This idea needs, in order to engage society, have the institutional support in order to survive over the time. So these are my introductory remarks, and I will conclude at that time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Master.